Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of
A BJJ Marriage, where we talk about our lives as a married jiu-jitsu couple. It's working. 3, 2, 1, blast off!
Oh, wow. What are we blasting off? Are we taking a trip in our favorite rocket ship?
Yeah. Don't do that now. It's going to be stuck in my head all day.
That's Little Einstein.
Yes.
This guy's Little Einsteins. Look, we have Cal. What's his name?
What? I don't know the names of Little Einstein.
Oh, no. There's that cartoon that you don't like people mentioning.
Oh,
Caillou? Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
thanks, Nick.
We have our special guest, Nic Bontempo, a.k.a.
Is that my fight name?
Caillou.
Caillou?
Oh my god. Do you know Scott Zori hates Caillou?
Really?
Like with a passion. He made a whole Facebook status about it. But that's not saying much because Scott makes big statuses a lot about things.
I don't know anything about Caillou.
But yeah, he hates Caillou.
I just know he's a bald kid and a cartoon. That's all I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right,
welcome.
So if you don't know Nic Bontempo, he's one of our favorite training partners. We have adopted him into Fluid, and I go potted him once, and
made a tweet about it.
He's pretty salty about that.
Yeah, very much so.
And how long have we been training together?
Oh shoot! I've been at Fluid,
2 years? 3 years?
At Fluid 3 years now. A little over 3 years.
Me too. May was my 3rd year anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
February.
Cheers to that.
Woohoo!
Cheers to 3 years.
3 years at Fluid.
Wow, you've been training 3 years? Holy shit.
Okay, I guess Nick and I are.
You're very far away. It hurts the microphone when you cheer so much.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I totally just stole your thunder. But I remember my first day and I was standing there and I normally came to like noon class or something with him just to watch him. And
we all got stripes.
Yeah. And my dad was like, Brittany, when are you going to train? And I literally like ripped open my shirt and I was just like, today! Because I was wearing Nick's rash guard underneath it. I was like, I'm not going to tell my dad I'm training today. And then I just jumped on the mat at a noon class.
You know, I remember one of your first night classes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm glad you do. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I was, it was after class and we were all like, I was just kind of standing with, people are rolling. And you came bouncing up to me and you're like, hey, you want to roll? My name's Brittany. I was like, sure.
I still do that. You told me I was a bunny this week.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I just got to go up to people and I hop and I'm like, what are you doing?
You want to roll?
But no, I trained with you guys for what? Yeah, about 3 years now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember you guys as white belts. Nick as
some sort of white belt.
Some sort of white belt.
Mm-hmm.
I was there at your promotion. And that was one of my first promotions at Fluid that I was a part of to watch training partners get promoted. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time together.
That line means you're talking too soft.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. No judgments here. Okay.
He said he couldn't hear my dad very well on the last podcast. So that's why we're saying, like, if you see... Now I'm going to start telling people, if you see that line and it looks too small, just get a little louder. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Okay. That's loud now. Okay, cool. Figured it out.
Yeah.
Podcasting's fun, isn't it,
Yeah.
guys? Mm-hmm. This is our 62nd time recording a podcast.
Yep.
And
sorry we missed last week, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit because life has just been, like...
Hectic?
Very fast.
Hectic.
All of a sudden it's summer and, like, yeah, there's a lot of events on my calendar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it was Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the Mother's Days.
Mother's Day's mothers.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day belatedly to all of the mothers.
Yes.
I always like to say that without moms, none of us would be here.
Yeah, it's true. Same with dads.
Yeah.
I have a fun coffee mug that I'm not going to put on right now.
I'm looking forward to it.
We might surprise Brenton with it later.
And I can't say what it is because my dad listens to these.
Anyways. Yeah, so happy Mother's Day. What did we do last weekend?
Okay, so...
We did Mother's Day things.
Well, we were going to record Friday night because we knew we weren't going to record on Sunday. We had some family stuff. Yep, and then some family things were going on, and I had to go help out my grandma with some things, and we just weren't able to record Friday night. And our only opportunity to record last week was Friday night or Sunday. And then Sunday was Mother's Day, and it was just a little hectic of a day and busy, and we had a great day, but we just didn't make the time to... record.
We prioritized our moms over the podcast last week.
Yes.
So, sorry, people.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
But yeah, we've been very, very busy. We were just at IBJJF yesterday.
Yep, we went to Chicago to support...
Brenton,
my father-in-law, her dad.
Yep.
Support his black belt match.
Nick needs to be included.
Yes.
He's someone to everyone. Whether you love him or you hate him, he's someone to everyone.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
But he had a tough match, but he ended up losing by ref decision 0-0-0.
Yep.
So, once again, don't leave it up to the refs.
Yep. But what had happened was he went out there. He was sick all week, too, so he didn't get a chance to really, train the way that he wanted to. So he went in there, and his cardio, he knew was going to be kind of flat, but he wasn't willing to pull out. He was like, I mean, I'll be fine.
That's what she said.
Well, that's why I'm here, right?
Oh my god.
Anyway, so he still went through with his match, and he went against the same guy that he did in the last IBJJF tournament in, what was that, April? It was April in Orlando. So he went against him, and he went for a takedown, and he wasn't able to get it, but unfortunately... we found out after the match that on that first takedown attempt, he actually tweaked his knee pretty bad. And so that kind of just messed him up for the rest of the 5-minute match because he couldn't use his knee the way that he wanted to use it. So he went for another takedown, didn't get it, landed in turtle, ended up dumping the guy, not once, but twice in a row, which was probably my favorite part of the whole match. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, it makes me feel less bad when he dumps me.
Yep, me too. And what's sad is, he's going to dump you when you try to take his back, and you just can't stop it. There's just no way to go around it. But, yeah, so what happened was he went for a takedown, landed in turtle, and then the opponent tried to take his back. He grabbed his arm, dumped him, and then the dude rolled over, fell to his back, immediately jumped back up, tried to take his back again from turtle, and then got dumped again, all within 5 seconds. A lot
going on at once.
And then they scrambled, and then his other opponent ended up holding guard at that point, and then it was just a guard game again. And his opponent held close guard the whole time. Brent was trying to work his way out of it.
Yeah, he was trying to revert to holding close guard a few times when it opened up. A few times Brent had some passing opportunities, but wasn't able to capitalize on it. Mostly due to his knee. Yeah. Because I've been in those positions with Brent. I'm not comparing myself to a black belt or anything, but Brent moves through those positions like butter. Yeah. And I didn't see his normal reactions to those positions. Yeah. As what I normally feel them as. Mm-hmm. That was a weird way to structure a sentence.
But yeah, so the guard opened, and normally he's pretty smooth and quick about going past that open guard, especially because when he is coaching people in the coach's chair at a competition, he always says it's open, pass. He's very good about knowing. I said that to him. Yeah. But we ended up finding out after the match that he couldn't move his knee, and so the way that he wanted to, he pretty much was down to just he could do a knee slice, and he wasn't able to set up a knee slice without being tipped. So he couldn't do any other type of pass without twisting his knee in a way that it wouldn't twist for him. So he ended up being stuck in the guard and was in a half guard at the buzzer. He was almost past the guard at the buzzer. But it was 0-0, no advantages, either one of them. Yep. And because his opponent held the dominant position, which was guard, he ended up winning by ref decision.
Yeah, and I think with my uneducated IBJJF rule set opinion, that Brent should have gotten advantage points for the takedown attempts. Yep. And his opponent, who's also named Nick Lee, by the way. His middle name is Lee. But his opponent should have gotten advantage points for a triangle attempt. Mm-hmm. And maybe a sweep attempt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did try a sweep.
Yeah. It was kind of close.
Like, the attempts were there on both parts, so I don't know why no advantage points were given out to either one of them. Like, both of them deserved advantage points some point throughout the match. But, whatever, it all comes down to the ref, so that's why you just don't leave it up to the ref, as Nick says.
Yep. Just get on the back and loop choke.
Thaddeus
was strategy.
Thaddeus was so mad.
Yeah, we went with Thaddeus. He was on one of our previous episodes.
Coach Thaddeus, he's the kids coach at Fluid. He literally was just like pouting, going around the arena just like, that was such a stupid call. That was ridiculous. I don't know what that ref was thinking. He was so angry.
After the match, he was standing at the top of the bleachers like this.
Yeah.
It was like angry eyebrows, crossed arms, puffed chest, staring at the whole crowd, just like frowning, like.
Yeah, he was not a happy camper.
Shaking his head.
It was very funny. Yes. And I said, Thaddeus, I think you're more mad than Brent is. And he's just like, oh, I know I am.
Did you hear Thaddeus and I talk about consciousness for an hour?
Yes, I did. Did you hear how I ignored you the whole time?
Well, no, because you were 3 rows behind me. Yeah, so yesterday we zoomed out to Chicago to go hit Brent's match, support him, make sure he was all good. And then right away, we had to come right back from Chicago back to Milwaukee because this guy had a kickboxing fight yesterday. Mm-hmm. His face looks pretty good for having a fight yesterday.
Oh, I did not look good yesterday.
No, you're pretty beat up. Now you just have a little bit on your cheek.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, a little on your cheek. Looks like you have a little bit of like bags on your eyes, but that could be from a whole bunch of things.
Yep. Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel okay. It was a long day yesterday. I felt the best that I've ever felt mentally going into a fight. Being a fighter, it's hard, right? Because there's so many components to it. It's the weight cut, it's the training, it's the personal stuff, right? Mm-hmm. If you think of a lot of people, what they don't think about is am I talking too soft?
No.
Okay. You're fine.
Don't worry about that.
Okay. So a lot of people don't like when people watch UFC, they're like, "Wow, why couldn't you do that?" And
just get up, bro.
Just get up. Why I get frustrated when I see people posting and talking crap about these professional fighters because it's like you guys don't know what goes behind the scenes, the weight cut, the training, and then you forget about the personal stuff, you know. And
like life is still happening.
Life is still just because you're fighting, life doesn't stop, and a lot of people forget about that. So this camp was probably one of the best camps for jiu-jitsu and for a fight. Probably one of the best camps I've ever been in. I felt really confident going in. Mentally and physically, I felt pretty good. Fight didn't go my way, unfortunately.
Lost by decision.
Lost to a close decision. I later found out what was the numbers on the card, and it was pretty close. Mm-hmm. But you know, all props out to my opponent, and he was game last night. He really was, and it was cool sharing the cage with him. And
yeah, we used to train with his opponent Keyshawn.
Yep, Keyshawn Carter.
Yeah, and we did jiu-jitsu with him. I don't know if we did any striking with him.
Vaguely, a little bit. He came in for a couple classes, and then.
Yeah, I think he moved around a bit.
Yeah, he was a gym hopper a little bit.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Mm-hmm. But it was nothing but respect after the fight. He and I talked in the locker room afterwards, and it was funny because when he and I were training together, we both wanted to fight. Mm-hmm. And Professor told both of us, "You're like, one of you guys get down to a certain weight. Whoever gets there first gets the fight."
Oh, yeah. Okay,
cool. So we had a little competition between us, and then he, I believe, went to Primal, or he went somewhere else, and a couple of years later, he and I are facing each other. We're fighting, and it was a cool opportunity, and it was my strikes, everything felt great. I learned that my cardio wasn't as good as I thought it was. So that was...
Yeah, there's a different thing of like fight cardio versus like training cardio.
Yep. And that's something that I learned quite a bit. So going into tomorrow, going into Monday,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things I can work on and get better on. But
yeah, that's why we try to, when we're doing like hard sparring rounds, try to push you past where you think you can go, because those hard sparring rounds that are extended aren't as long as a regular round is, and you're gonna get a break in a fight. But in those hard sparring rounds or those shark tanks, we really try to push you so that you can push past that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it was a lot of fun last night. We had a bunch of people come out. Mm-hmm. A lot of fluid people came out. We had some open guard people come out too. So it was so
they also had some fighters.
Open guard had 2 people.
Yeah, I know they were fine, but when I got on, I know like the crowd was split between Keyshawn and I, and it was fluid and open guard and Adrian Serrano, and it was a cool atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It was. My face looked horrible yesterday, and today it doesn't look.
Still looks a little off, but that's normal.
Thank you. But
no, just kidding.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I was gonna post to the group page to Fluid and thank everybody, but since I'm on here, I'll thank everybody now. Everybody
you can also post to the Fluid page.
I'll do that too. But everybody who bought tickets for me, everybody who came out, or even just supported me throughout this camp, and who weren't able to come out, I appreciate you guys for coming and supporting me. It was cool. Fluid is unlike any other gym, so I really appreciate you guys. And we'll fight again. I have a couple cool announcements that I'll talk about later. But
how old are you? You're only 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you have a long path ahead of you. You have a lot of years that you can still keep fighting before you start burning out.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So you got a lot to go for, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But So what would you say was like your biggest takeaway of yesterday
from your kickboxing? Yeah.
So you said you didn't. Never mind. I'll just let you go. Go ahead.
This is your second kickboxing fight now.
Yep, second.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my biggest takeaway was to kick more.
Yeah.
I think that was
no way.
It's kickboxing.
So apparently Brittany said that in my fight, and
so did I.
So if you listen to the videos, because I recorded, I would highly suggest listening on mute because I was definitely screaming a lot, and it was very loud in there, and I wanted to make sure he could hear me.
Oh, I heard you.
So I was screaming because he wasn't throwing any kicks. So I literally was just in the crowd, and I was like, Nick, it's kickboxing! Like, I was so mad.
Yeah.
You were just dirty boxing.
Yeah, we were dirty boxing for the most part, which going into a little bit of fighting that's my first art. My first striking art is boxing, so it was cool to kind of be like, oh, it's a boxing match now. But
you did get one sweet kick in. To the head.
Yep, that was cool. I was surprised by that. Keyshawn and I talked about that after the fight. He was like, I was like, I'm surprised I got my leg up there. And he's like, me too. So
that head kick was super cool.
Yeah, I got to keep doing that.
More head kicks. I was gassed after I threw that head kick.
They don't. No one expects big boys to throw head kicks though. So like, it was super cool.
Yeah. I've been working that, getting my legs up there a little more. So I thought about
working on that.
Yeah, I thought about in the fight. I'm like, well, it's late into the second round. I know I'm behind on the cards or on the scorekeeping cards. Like, okay, cool. Let's just
do something.
Let's just throw a head kick, see what happens.
Bang! Whoa!
Yeah, your nose got pretty busted up in the first round too.
Yeah, but his nose always bleeds. Like we'll spar or he'll hold pads. Or we're doing like technical drilling, and it's like pop, and then he's like, "Oh, hold on."
So
my nose bleeds.
So I'll let you guys in on a little something about that. So I have a weak blood vessel on this side of my nose. So anytime I get hit, or the weather decides to change on like that, my nose starts bleeding. So I gotta go get that fixed. But that's not fun. But yeah, I was covered in my own blood, which was kind of cool. But
It's cooler when you covered in other people's blood.
Yeah, I'll work on that next time. But
I mean, it was a good match. You guys had some great exchanges back and forth. Mm-hmm. I think the first round could have went better, but that's just my critique.
It was crazy when he came out with the, like, it was like fight. He just ran forward like pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, he did not. It was like a cartoon.
I was like,
it was.
Whoa!
I was surprised.
I know. I saw because you were like,
because normally in the first round of any fight, you kind of just like feel each other out. You're moving around. You're getting your footwork in. Up. Like but Keyshawn he did not waste any time. No. He was like, let's freaking go.
I was like, that's cool. Let's do it. But it was like a cartoon because I was like, you just ba 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 ba. I was like, oh, okay.
It reminds me of how Sergio fights in the kids' kickboxing class, where he's just.
It reminded me of Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
When I was what was kind of funny to me, it was right before I walked out, or I'm sorry, right before Keyshawn walked out. The announcer was like, "Now it's time for the big boys," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
we were the only heavyweight fight on there, so
right.
We were the headline for the kickboxing card. Now, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, there's only 2 fights on the kickboxing card." Whatever. We were the main event. It was pretty cool. And we put on one hell of a show. That was for sure.
It was fun to watch, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah.
So, takeaways besides kicks?
Cardio.
Cardio. You said cardio.
Yep.
I felt kicks. And what was the other one? Or, go ahead.
I think the big 2 takeaways for me was just cardio conditioning. Like that, those things for sure were a big factor in the fight. My punches, I felt really good with my punches. I felt good with my...
We're good. I'm glad I'm wearing black. That's fine.
I felt good with my angles. Like, I sat on the cage a little more than I wanted to, but I was going to say my first kickboxing fight,
that's all I didn't get off the cage.
I didn't get off the cage. And my striking coach Gabe out of Fluid.
He's been on the podcast before also.
Oh, yeah. So...
shout out to healthy body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah, massage therapeutics.
Yep,
does wonders. You guys should do it.
Mm-hmm. If you're paying a little extra, never
mind. But my first fight, which there is no video on because it looked pretty bad, even though I was only hurt a couple times. But the first kickboxing fight, I didn't get off the cage and I was TKO'd in the second round. This fight, Gabe and I went in, and he was like, "As soon as you feel metal on your back, move." and that's. Mm-hmm. I stayed there a little more than I wanted to, just because I was more blocking the punches and rolling with him and trying to find my way out of it.
He was trying to come at you though too, so I guess it was just almost natural to block and then kind of back up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
that's why I do that too, specifically when we spar. I crowd you like a motherfucker. Yeah. So you have to move.
I think, you know what? I'm going to put one more takeaway in there. I have to get used to fighting off my back foot. My last 2 fights, I was on my back foot. Mm-hmm. This fight, I felt better fighting off my back foot a little bit. I wasn't gun shy about shooting or not shooting. It wasn't wrestling or jiu-jitsu.
About just throwing more strikes
and not being gun shy about it.
Mm-hmm. There's never a perfect opportunity to strike back in a kickboxing fight. Nope. You just gotta fucking do it.
Just do it. You get hit. Yes. So that's another thing too is as fighters you're like, oh, it's easy being a fighter. Let's fight.
Who says that?
Lots of people. A lot of casual people.
You mean couch potatoes?
Yes. People who don't train.
They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
It irritates me at UFC when the crowd starts booing people. I'm like, bro, do you know how much work they're doing right now? Even if to you it looks like they're not doing anything.
If Usman hugged you that hard, you'd die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the crowd booed me last night, which in the beginning when I walked out they were for Keyshawn, which it was cool.
I didn't notice that part.
I didn't notice that either.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm.
Maybe it was that part of the crowd you were walking.
Yeah, because I was gonna say because our side was cheering.
Yeah, so it was the entrance area was like Fluid open guard people. And then the other half was Keyshawn.
Adrian
Serrano people. Some of Keyshawn's family. Some, his girlfriend. So, like, when they announced Keyshawn, that half was like, rah!
And that's who you walked by first.
Yeah.
So that's why you heard that.
Yeah. And I was on that side. I was in the red corner, so I was on that side. And then I believe they announced me. And which, that feeling, by the way, never gets old. Walking into the cage, getting your name, like, oh, fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, representing Fluid Jiu Jitsu, Nic Bontempo. Like, that feeling never goes away. Like, that still to me is one of the coolest feelings in the world is, having the ref be like, you ready to fight? I'm like, let's do it. And then touching gloves and just going. Like, you're going to get punched in the face in a fight. And, that's it. Mm-hmm. So, a very cool experience. Something I will definitely be back. Definitely fight again.
And honestly, like, I think it's super cool that you are exposing yourself to that kind of, I guess, just training.
Stress.
Yeah, because, I mean, people already, okay, so we've talked about this a lot, where only 1% of people train jiu-jitsu, and only 1% of that 1% compete, right? But then I bet you only 1% of 1% of those people do a cage fight. So, like, it's crazy.
It's very, and it's small.
Very small amount of people that have ever done a fight like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'll never do a cage fight.
Why not?
Nope.
We're working on it. We'll get her.
What about cage grappling?
Nope.
Why?
I don't want to. I don't even like doing regular competition.
Yeah, that's true. You don't.
No.
You'll be fine. But, yeah, no, I mean, it's a very small percentage that fight, and I was thinking about it, like, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how the three of us are one of the majority of people that compete out of Fluid as well.
Yeah, there's
out
not
of
many.
fighting and out of doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. So it is pretty cool, having that atmosphere. And I think another feeling that I take away that I absolutely love is, like, when I walk into a building like that, walk into a fight or walk into a jiu-jitsu tournament, everyone's like, oh, hey, how you... Everyone's like, how you doing? Good. Everybody comes to you, and it is this big one family and community, and it's pretty cool. That's another feeling that I've been doing this almost 9 years now, and I've had so many friends and so many people I've met. It's pretty cool. It's a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a great group of people.
So you should train.
Train. I'm sure anybody that listens to this podcast already trains.
Train more.
Train more. That's what Ephraim says.
Yeah.
Ephraim tells Nick that he doesn't train enough.
It hurts my soul. I'm like, okay.
Ephraim's like, you need to train more. You suck at jiu-jitsu, bro. You need to train more.
That's awesome.
Hurts my heart.
Ephraim's awesome. Yeah.
But anyway, so overall, would you say that you are satisfied with your performance yesterday and how everything went?
Yeah, I'm not hanging my head low at all about it. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things that
it wasn't perfect, right?
It wasn't perfect. But I
fights never go as planned, though.
Nope.
Yeah.
I will tell you, probably 90% of what we worked on in this camp wasn't there last night. So.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I didn't see those liver kicks.
Nope.
I didn't see any kicks.
Those liver hooks. I saw one liver hook.
I saw one head kick.
That was nice. Yeah, like I said.
That's funny because I was in the crowd and I was shouting. I was always saying like, Nick, kick his liver, hook to the liver. And
I did hear you.
You did hear that? Cool. Because I was standing by a couple people.
Did it.
And then you did it. And then the guy looked at me. He was like, he actually heard you that time. I was like, fucking good. I think the crowd thought I was just some random dude screaming at you.
Felt bad because I think I was next to Keyshawn's mom or something. I was next to someone in his family, but I think it may have been his mom, and I was just like totally going against Keyshawn. But she was on the wrong side, okay? Like she was in between all of us in open guard, and I was like, honey, you need to be like over there with your friends. Because you got Nick's side on this side, and if you're voting for Keyshawn, like you gotta go.
Yep. But Yeah, I did hear some of you guys. I heard my dad, for sure.
Oh, cool.
So I heard my dad yelling. Heard my stepmom yelling.
You saw me give you a face after that first round.
Yeah, so when I sat down on the stool, right? I'm facing away from Keyshawn, and then 10 seconds come out, and I turn around, and Brittany is glaring at me. I was like, "Oh, I should probably do more, otherwise I'll hear it from Brittany." But that was. Have you ever seen that meme where the guy's standing in the stands and he's like this and he's scowling, the little bald Indian guy? Yeah. That's kind of what it looked like when Brittany was just staring at me. I was like, "Oh, okay, I should move."
Oh, that's funny.
I was just like.
Did you see me nod at you?
Yeah. You were gonna do that little like half lip thing. We're like, yep.
Yeah, I know. But.
It was cool. It was a cool experience to be at, even as us as spectators. Like, it's always fun to be in a setting like that because it's so different than what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the cage itself is just like, holy crap, that's a cage. Like, it's just, it brings a whole different type of energy into the crowd.
Did you guys know that they had to be out of there by 8?
Oh, that's why everything was going so fast.
So they had to be out of,
because it's a bar. Saturday night, downtown Milwaukee.
So the fight was held at Red, White, and Blue Bar down in Old World. 3rd Street, downtown Milwaukee. And,
it's Old Ward.
Ward? On the address thing, it says Old World.
It changes. It's kind of like tomato. I've heard it both ways from lots of people.
Never mind.
Well, Ward, World, whatever.
World Ward.
I just say 3rd Street.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was at a bar, and doors opened up at 3, fights started at 4, and the commissioner was telling us that they had to get out of there at 8 o'clock, cage and everything.
Oh, that's a big breakdown.
Cage and everything by 8 o'clolock, because it turns into a club.
Why did they have it there then? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. They should have done it at Primal again.
Yep.
Primal's
they didn't. They've never done it at Primal. PRFC.
That cage has been used at
right.
Primal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they should do it at Primal.
Well, if they're going to do that, they're going to do it at Pura Vida.
Yeah. I've never been to Pura Vida. I don't know what it looks like in there.
It was nice.
Okay.
Pura Vida's pretty cool in there.
But because I was actually wondering that when we were on our way, because what we had to do was Nick and I were in Chicago all day trying to support my dad in the IBJJF tournament. And then we kept telling Nick, we're like, I don't know if we're going to make it to your fight, bro. Like, we don't know what time his matches are at. We don't know how long the drive is going to take us. We have no idea what time or what's going to happen for the day. So when we ended up finishing in Chicago around 1:30, we're like, oh, cool. We can make it to Nick's fight. And we were driving down to downtown Milwaukee, and I was like, this is a really early day for a fight. Like, I had totally imagined this day spending all day in Chicago until like 5 o'clock, and then spending all night in Milwaukee until like midnight or 1. Like, that was kind of what I envisioned. And so when we're rushing there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was like, what is happening right now? Yeah. And I realized, I was like, oh, you know what? This is at a really popular bar on a Saturday night, and I bet you that they want to actually like have their business for the night.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. But that's why I don't know why they chose that venue. That's an odd venue.
Yeah, I mean, it was, despite it having to get out of there at 8 o'clock, it was a cool venue. Like, it was a cool bar. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the commissioner's like, they have to get the cage out by like 8 o'clock. So they were just trying to like just steamroll all the fights. So I was like, oh, well, that's talented. Like, that's a
different type of skill.
Yeah. To get out of there by 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Very cool. So,
cool.
Did you do any visualizations before your fight at all? Like,
so
leading up?
So if you guys don't know, Nick Lee's my life coach. So he helped me get prepared quite a bit.
We talk about things sometimes. Yeah,
he doesn't just go and tell people who his clients are.
Well, I don't care. He's my coach.
It's like client therapy type of
what client
personnel.
You can edit that out.
Client patient privilege or something.
Yeah,
whatever that's.
I already tell people.
I follow it. Whatever it is.
I promoot you. You're fine.
Well, that's right. Like, you even asked me, like, did Nick tell you what we talked about? I'm like, no, he doesn't tell me what you talk about.
We'll edit this part out.
I mean, if you're saying
how much
it's
editing
fine,
you think I do?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
I've got time for that shit.
Yes, I did. I did a lot of visualization.
For walking up to the cage, right?
Mm-hmm.
How'd that help you?
It helped me quite a bit. I normally get really nervous. I was nervous leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was visualizing and doing a lot of breathing stuff, and it helped me kind of work through the nerves. And by the time my music hit, so total side note, when my music hit, I didn't recognize it at first because it hits, but it was so loud in there, I didn't hear
it change or anything.
Yeah,
you're so loud in there,
and I was like, "That's not my song." Because so typically, we have to confirm our fight songs, right?
That didn't happen.
They didn't do that.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't think about that until I heard my music. I'm like, "Where's my song?" And then I heard it, and I was like, "Oh, there it is." Okay. I walked this time. I didn't run.
You didn't run. You didn't dance to your opponent's
there was
music.
no room to run.
It's true. I was also scared of getting like a sliver or something. So, but yeah, it definitely helped doing the whole exercise of visualization.
Yeah. So what visualization is, I tell people to take a moment and close your eyes and think about the few moments leading up to the matches or the fight that you're going to have. So that way you're not surprised by the competition nerves you feel when you step into the cage, because you're like, oh shit, now it's time.
Cage, jiu-jitsu mats, anything.
Mm-hmm. Because I've seen it in people where they think they're ready and then it's time to fight, and then this surge of adrenaline emotion just hits them, and then they're like, oh wait, what? And then the fight happens.
Yep.
Like Gustavo.
Yes.
That's what happened with him. He was
So-
like, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah.
I felt that too. My last kickboxing match.
Mm-hmm. But this time you're a little bit more prepared for that.
Yep.
Visualization is not the real thing, but it helps you prepare for those emotions because you will feel them when you think about it.
Yeah, 100%. It helped quite a bit, for sure.
That's cool. I've got a blog post coming out about that this week on gentleartlifestyle.com.
I like how you just threw that out there.
Nick Lee, my Odyssey. Do you like these coffee mugs?
You should get them.
That's what my dad kept doing on the last episode. He's like, look at these BJJ coffee mugs available on a BJJmarriage.com. And I was like, Father.
Oh, yes. Man. But, yeah, I do have a blog post coming out about that with a little bit more instruction and detail, cool. But I'm glad that also helped you out.
Yeah, it helped quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much so. It was, like I said, that's why I felt like this was the best I have been so far mentally going into a fight. You know, I've done
success
over 24, maybe even more competitions, and I still get nervous to this day.
It's the real thing.
Mm-hmm. Never goes away.
Did you do his competition prep course? Or did you just do visualization stuff?
I kind of put some stuff in there. We worked on something, but I didn't have him specifically do the course.
Oh, okay. So apparently he made like a competition prep course.
I do have a course available.
For My Odyssey.
Yes. Yeah, for Gentle Art Lifestyle, but with My Odyssey tools.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering if you did it, because I was curious.
I did it when I competed at Fuji. I did it then.
I might need to do it. Just so you know.
I can help you out with that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the competition prep course is accountability for weight, accountability for like being ready for competition, putting together a good game plan, setting your expectations, and being the most ready you can be without actually fighting yet. Mm-hmm. And there's daily accountability. Weekly calls, checking in on things, helping you set up what is best for you in your jiu-jitsu or kickbox or MMA or whatever else you want to fight with.
It's really all about learning about your nerves and how you react to situations, and then learning how to overcome those nerves.
And then also managing your expectations is huge, because that's a whole nother topic. Yeah. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
Yep. But I'm glad that you had fun. And
did you guys have fun?
Yes.
Yeah. I had a great time.
We had a great day yesterday.
Yes.
Because then after the fight, we all ended up at our house. Like, everyone who was at the fight decided to come over for a fire, and we just hung out. We had some drinks. We heard Dan play the guitar. We killed each other a little brutally in Mafia. And it was a good night. We had a good time.
I was the only one who was killed brutally in Mafia.
Okay. Nick was tied up to 2 horses. The horses were sent off in different directions, and his body was split in half by our narrator.
Josh Janus.
Who's that guy? I didn't want to name names.
I made Josh get smothered by white belts.
Yeah. He didn't get tapped out or choked. He got smothered by the bodies of white belts to death.
Oh, how about what Brittany killed? How Brittany killed me. Brittany had me get brutally punched in the head so many times. By an MMA fighter.
In the cage.
In the cage. Corners and everything. And referee. Get brutally punched in the head until I die.
He was bludgeoned to death on stage.
In front of everybody.
According to Brittany.
My coaches didn't care and the ref didn't either. So I got killed.
So the way Mafia works.
Yeah.
Just for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about.
It's kind of like Among Us.
Yeah, so it's just a campfire game that we like to play, and there's 2 Mafia, and then what happens is everyone has to put their heads down, the Mafia wakes up, and they have to silently decide one person to kill, and then they put their heads down. Yeah, it's always Nic Bontempo. He's always the first one to die, every single time. Or he's Mafia 7 times in a row. But then we still kill him, so he doesn't get to play. And so, then an angel wakes up, and an angel can save someone if they save the right person, like the person that the Mafia killed, then they don't die that round. But anyway, so then when everyone wakes up, the narrator has to come up with this like crazy elaborate story of how the person died
from the Mafia.
And so I was the narrator first, and then Josh Janus played it the second round, and we had a really good time coming up with some really stupid stories. But poor Bontempo,
brutally punched in the head.
And ripped apart in half by 2 horses' tails.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And then I made Megan snap her neck when she was inverting.
Yeah, you were very brutal with
She inverted herself to death. You don't invert on your neck, in case you're wondering how to invert.
But this is like 1,000 Ways to Die type stuff.
Yeah. You were brutal with your choices.
I was drinking.
Uh-huh.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a good time celebrating with our team. And
celebrating the losses. We just had a good time.
You know, it was funny. I was talking about that. I forget who I was talking to last night about that. Was that, maybe it might have been Garrick. I forgot who I was talking to, but I was saying that Professor and I may not have won. I don't want to speak for him, but for me, I may not have won yesterday, but at the end of the day, I feel like I won. Because I was surrounded by so many great people, our fantastic team who came out. And then later that night with the campfire, even though I die all the time first, I played campfire games, and it was cool. At the end of the day, I didn't feel like I lost. Mm-hmm. I felt like I won. So
that's fantastic.
It was
a great outlook on life.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool thing to. So we did celebrate. We celebrate that we went out there and competed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
yeah, I was just gonna say that it's one thing to win or lose, but you can celebrate the fact that you as a team or whoever went out to compete went and put ourselves out there to even have an opportunity to do this, because it's frankly wild to try to injure somebody else repeatedly, and not get injured yourself.
Yep,
because that's what martial arts competition is.
Yep, and there's injuries that are going to happen for sure.
Yeah, like your balled up bicep.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that, but yes.
Yeah, I think that's all you got banged up a little bit, right?
Yeah, my leg hurts a little bit. Keyshawn, if you watch this, you're an animal and you're a bastard. He kicked my inside leg quite a bit, and
I love that kick. I've been working that kick with Alex.
Yeah, it's a brutal kick, and he got me like 2 or 3 times. And the running joke that Nick and I have between us is that I say that he lives rent free in my head. So I got kicked like the second time or third time, and I heard him in my head say, "Hey, I suggest you should probably block that." And then I was like, "Oh, okay," and then I blocked it. But that's
round of applause.
That's a little sore today, but my bicep is.
Yeah, something happened, eh?
Something happened. I don't know if it was in the clinch. I don't know if it was when I threw an overhand. Something. My biceps bruised. I don't know if I tore it or not, but
it's probably not completely torn off, but
I can still train. That's all I care about.
Your stripes look like a rainbow.
Wow, that was completely random.
I just keep looking at the stripes and how much brighter this one is, and it just gets darker. Like the more used that it's been. So you just got that stripe, right?
This one.
Yeah. This is your first time actually wearing it since you've gotten it, right?
No, he's had it for about a week.
Really? Yeah, I thought he just got it on
I got it last.
Oh, but you didn't train this week.
I didn't train this week, so yeah, this is my first time. So
congratulations!
Thank you.
How does it feel having 4 stripes on your blue belt?
Oh man,
you're a blue zebra.
A blue zebra?
When I got my 4th stripe on my white belt, they said I was a zebra, and so I'm calling you a blue zebra. And now you matter again. How exciting!
You don't have a 3-stripe blue belt anymore.
Yeah.
So you do matter.
Did I tell you what Josh Janice texted me when I got my first
Why
stripe?
don't I matter?
So when Josh Janice was getting his black belt and he gave his whole spiel and everything, he was just like, "You guys, you just need to enjoy the journey. You're not gonna ever remember. I don't remember when I was a 3-stripe blue belt. 3-stripe blue belts don't matter." And then Nick was a 3-stripe blue belt.
I was the only 3-stripe blue belt in the gym, and I was like, "What the
fuck?" Was that him? His black tie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You were there.
I was there.
And
then he looked at me, and I was like.
So we just always joke now that 3-stripe blue belts don't matter. And when I got my first stripe on my blue belt a couple weeks ago, Josh literally texted me and he was like, "Only 2 more stripes until you don't matter."
Oh man,
yes,
that's Josh for you.
Uh-huh.
I was like, "I'll take that as a congratulations." So thanks.
That's a congratulations for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool feeling. I've been a blue belt for 4 years now. I've been a blue belt for a very long time. Throw in a couple of injuries and throw in a
few life things,
and so putting my journey on hold, unfortunately. But I'm back now, obviously. So it's been a long time coming. I've been hunting for that purple belt for quite a long time. So now it's on the
horizon.
Yeah,
you can see it.
I can see
cool.
it. So it is. It's pretty cool.
There's a belt ceremony coming up next month.
It's not me.
No, it's not. Sorry, but I'm just excited because it's one of my favorite training partners on the planet. So I'm very excited.
It's pretty cool. I'm excited.
Steve
doesn't think he's going to be a blue belt though.
No,
even though he knows he's getting promoted, he's told me multiple times. He's like, "I'm not a blue belt."
Yep.
Like, you shut up. Yes, you are. Stop it.
Yep. So yeah, we have a belt ceremony coming up in June. And if you haven't heard yet, then you're going to hear now because it's on the board at Fluid anyway. But Javi, our purple belt at
Fluid.
Get
brown.
He's going to get his brown belt.
Mm.
And then Steve, one of our favorite people at Fluid, he's getting his blue belt. Him and Karen have been on the episode. But by the way, Karen's going to be on the podcast after Grappling Industries. So
yeah.
We're going to get Karen back on here to get another female perspective of competing.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I love it.
Cool. And then our little brother, basically, Ian, he has not been on the podcast yet, but he's 15 and he has an orange. He's 16 now. Yep. He just turned 16. He just got his driver's license like a week ago. So
that's super cool.
God, watch out. And he's an orange belt and he'll be getting his green belt at our belt ceremony.
So I've talked to your dad about this, that he's going to be the first green belt at Fluid. Mm-hmm. And I was the first green belt at Nutriground.
I got it. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. I was the first green belt at Nutriground.
Okay.
I told your dad, I was like, I want to roll with Ian at the ceremony because it would be cool to kind of bring him in and be like, dude, you're like a black belt for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The green belt is like the black belt for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was for sure. That's I'm excited for him.
It's super exciting.
He loves Leglocks.
Yep.
And so do I. And he and I have been working leg locks together.
Speaking of leg locks,
oh god,
please come to Fluid Jiu Jitsu next Saturday at 11 a.m. for Joey the Real Deal Nogi Leg Lock Seminar from
Nick,
11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Nick, who did the flyer?
Some dude. I don't know.
Yes, we have Joey Deal coming.
Sponsored by Fluid Jiu Jitsu.
He's coming to Fluid Jiu Jitsu for a leg lock seminar next Saturday, May 21st. He will be teaching 2 hours of Nogi, all leg lock stuff. That he is a 2nd degree black belt under Jeff Curran. And then on Sunday...
Bellator fighter too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the 22nd, he will be there again. He's also staying here next Saturday night, apparently. But he is doing a mobility for a jiu-jitsu workshop, which I believe is going to be like yoga.
It's like $25. Sunday. He's also certified in multiple yoga disciplines and body therapy stuff.
Yep.
And this seems like really cool.
So if you're interested, it's $50 for Saturday, it's $25 for Sunday, or $65 for both.
He's also doing private lessons.
Is he really?
Yeah. And we'll see about that.
He's from Chicago or just
Illinois?
Yeah,
or
he's
Chicago
from
area, but
he's from Illinois. Apparently, he asked if he could sleep at the academy, and my dad was like, "You're not gonna sleep on mats.
we'll find you a room."
Yeah, it's like we'll get you a bed because he doesn't want. Because originally he was thinking that he was just gonna go home and then come back because it's only in Illinois, but he's like, "No, I'll just sleep on your mats." And Brent's like, "No, you can like sleep in a bed."
Yeah. So, anyways, yes, Ian likes leg locks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he and I have been working leg locks together. So it's a pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have a trained partner like him who likes leg locks and who's been willing to work on them with me. So it's pretty cool. I'm proud of him. He's gonna be one hell of a green belt for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna be awesome. By the way, if you guys want to learn about leg locks and you have absolutely no idea what the fuck's going on with legs, there's this YouTube series called Leglock for Dummies, and there's part 1, part 2, and part 3. It's fantastic. I think it's like Jiu-Jitsu Principles or something is the channel, but I'm going to post it in the Fluid group and to get ready for the seminar anyways. But yeah, it's called Leg Locks for Dummies on YouTube, and it's a great breakdown.
So since we kind of just did a whole bunch of announcements, we did like the belt ceremony, we did Joey Deal. You said you also had some announcements you wanted to say?
Yeah. So, so July 30th, I believe I'm getting that date right.
I believe you are, which I'm sad about because I wanted to do it, but we're on a bachelor and bachelorette weekend.
Yep. Sorry, buddy. I'll post pictures.
Let's drive back.
But July 30th is a cage grappling
championship.
It's called. Yeah. So it was called Cage Grappling Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like PFC is Pure Fight Championship, right? It's not a fight club.
Yeah, I think it is Fighting Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Pure Fighting Championships.
Yeah, not everyone's a champion, but you work up to it. Anyways.
So that's held by one of the striking coach over at Nova. His name is Dan Newberry. He's the promoter, and he put together this amazing event. It's MMA style rules and judging, no strikes, and just plain old
submission only.
Just plain old jiu-jitsu.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 rounds of Nogi submission only grappling.
Yep.
And you'll be scored in rounds, but
MMA style,
but you will win by submission if you submit them. Fucking awesome.
So it's pretty cool. You get paid for it as well, which I won't say the amount, but it is pretty cool. Just kind of like the UFC puts on, right? You get X amount of money to show, you get X amount of money to win. There's bonuses, things like that. So that's kind of what his whole idea is. I was talking to him last night, and I will be a part of that. I will be competing July 30th on the cage grappling
championship.
Yeah,
CGC cage grappling championship.
I'll be doing that.
That's very exciting.
Huh?
Is it Gabe? Gabe's cornering you?
Well, it's jiu-jitsu.
It's jiu-jitsu, so
it's only jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
there's no striking.
Got it.
It'll be probably Professor.
So I probably wouldn't recommend Gabe coaching.
Yeah, probably not.
It's not striking. He'd be like,
Gabe
just kick him.
Just get up.
But so that's a huge announcement. I've been working on that for actually a few weeks before this fight. We actually put it on hold because I was like, give me a sec, let me fight this, let me take my weekend and we'll figure it out. But I talked to him last night, so July 30th, if no injuries happen and all that, I'll be competing on that. Earlier in July too, I think it's either July 9th or
Grappling Industry Chicago.
I believe that's Grappling Industry.
We're doing that.
I will be competing on that.
I'm ready to fight.
So I'll be competing on that. I'm excited. So I said at the top of this year that this year is going to be an active year for me for competing and fighting, and it's been one busy year. So
it's only going to get busier.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We were going through our calendar for the rest of 2022 because what I was trying to do is figure out the weekends.
We're in 3 weddings this year.
Yeah. So I wanted to figure out the weekends that I had fully available, like Friday through Sunday, so I could go camping because there's just so much on our calendar. And between now and
November?
September.
Okay, September.
Because it gets colder after September. But from now to September, we have 3 weekends that we can go camping. That's
Possibly.
It.
Every other weekend is booked.
Every other weekend is booked. And I'm like,
that's interesting.
Well, damn. We have a lot going on.
But
we're going to make it happen. All of it.
Super cool.
And those 3 weekends are going to book up too. It just is a matter of time.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So,
it's exciting.
So it's a lot of cool opportunities that are coming this way. And, maybe I'll throw a Naga in there later on. But we'll see. I haven't done Naga since 2015 was my first and last Naga.
Okay.
I was 14. That was when guys and girls fought each other.
Well, kids divisions do that.
Yeah, kids
because Isaac's going against
kids divisions still do that.
Oh,
Isaac's
I didn't know they still did that.
Yeah, Isaac's competing on the 28th. He's 13, and he has to in his bracket. He's the only boy, and then there's 3 girls.
Yeah, a 90-pound 14-year-old girl is the same as a 90-pound 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. I didn't know they still did that. I thought that was I thought they got rid of that.
I think it's once you start hitting 16 and up is when they start changing
adult divisions.
Yeah.
So super cool. Lot of cool announcements, but it's cool. I'm excited for it.
We have a ton of stuff coming up at Fluid. I won't even go through any of it in a majority right now.
But I am excited for the seminar next weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn some awesome Leglock.
We have the seminar coming up. This is definitely more going out to Fluid people, but if you don't go to Fluid, obviously you're more than welcome to join on anything. But Fluid people, we do have an email coming out very soon, just saying everything that is going to be happening. So watch out for that because there's going to be a lot going on this summer. We're super excited. The one I'm most excited about is we're actually going to be doing a tie-dye gi event. And it'll be super, super fun. So we're going to be doing, like I said, just watch out for that email. It should be coming out in the next few days to a week or so. And it's going to be a great summer. And I'm really excited. We had our first bonfire yesterday of the year. And had a lot happen. But it was a good time. It was an eventful night.
Yes, very much so. But I do want to kind of talk about my start because there's a lot of people that don't know my start to jiu-jitsu. Just kind of give a little shout out to John Freeland. I started at NutriGround. Was there for about 5 years. So I started in 2013. So I started when I was 12. And I consider that, and I could be wrong, there's a lot more old school guys than me, but I consider that close to the end of the era of old school. Right now we're in the new school era.
I'd say it's a different wave of jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's a few things, and I've talked about this at Fluid with some of our white belts, but I was talking to them, and I was like, there's some old school tendencies I still have. Like, I don't let my belt ever touch the ground when it's not around my waist. Put my gi down first, and then I put my belt. To me, it's if I put my belt on the ground, it's like the American flag touching the ground. It's like that's a big no-no. Bow on and off the mats. Very rarely do I call John or Brent their actual names. It's always Professor. So there's a lot of...
Imagine how I feel with that. I have to go through so many things.
Dad,
I'm like,
Brent,
I literally,
hey, you.
Sometimes when I'm yelling at him, I'm like, Padre. I say Padre. I say Faja a lot. But yeah, when I'm describing him to other people, like I try not to say like my dad, because that just sounds really kiddish. So sometimes I'll say Brenton, but then I hate calling him Brenton because I don't know when he decided that he wants to start being called Brenton, but I've always known him as Brent.
Yep,
until very recently, and now it's like Brenton Fitzgerald, and I'm like, why are you so proper? Like,
it's really funny because I don't know what to call him either. So a lot of times I say Brent, my father-in-law. It's still hard to say for some reason.
Yeah, it's just funny.
He's not my dad.
I never know what to say about him. That's where you'll hear me say him as a bunch of different things. Black belt professor, my dad, his father-in-law, Brenton.
Also, you never hear anybody say it dad-in-law. It's only father-in-law.
Yeah. My father, my padre. Yeah. When I'm really trying to get his attention, I just go dad, father.
The last one is the one that works.
Yeah.
He's always like this. He's on his phone and then he with his lip out.
Is that how he looks?
It is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, continue.
No.
Don't tell me what to do.
You're like, my professor. I'm like, I never call him my professor. I know he is, but I never call him that.
Yeah, well, it's different because you're his daughter, so.
Yeah, he's just butt-faced to me.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany's not getting it straight now. That's the only one that she's going to stay at. But, so the journey has been a lot of, I was at Nutrigon for 5 years. I competed so we were talking about competitions last night. I competed within 3 months of training and went up against all wrestlers.
Okay. As a white belt?
Yeah.
A white belt child?
Yeah.
That's fun.
So the story behind it was that John took me and this other kid, and we were both big boys, and he just showed up at a tournament with me and this other kid, showed up at a tournament and was like, hey, so I got 2 heavyweights here. I forgot whatever the weight was for both of us at the time. But he said our weight. The people looked at him, he's like, so, what do you got? And they just threw me into a tournament, and I didn't know what to expect. John cornered me, and
sounds like John.
He was like, all right, just do this, and this. I'm like, I have a little bit of an idea what you're talking about, but okay. And then I had a football background, so I was like, I'm just going to try tackling them. And it was such a cool experience. I lost all my matches, but I got neck cranked like the first time. So like the first match, locks in, gets his back, gets his hooks, and locks in a choke. And I remember John saying like, bury your face, bury it. I was like, okay, I buried my face. And then the guy just wrenched, and I was like, oh, I'm going to tap.
Jesus.
But it
neck cranking white belts.
Yep. 3 months into training, I competed, and within 6 months of training, I got my first stripe on my white belt.
Speaking of white belts, sorry, I'm going to go off track for a second because it's funny. But yesterday, because we had everyone over from the fight, and they were all pretty much white belts for a majority of them, and they're all kind of newer to the school, right? And Josh and Megan walked in, and Josh and Megan don't train at Fluid, so they don't know them. And I was like, hi guys, these are our white belts.
That was funny.
Continue, sorry.
My whole point about bringing up competitions, if you guys are thinking about competing, I do suggest just doing one. Just get out there, experience it. You learn so much. Since then, I've competed, like I said, maybe over 3 dozen competitions.
Mm-hmm. And if you are thinking about competing and you need a little extra push, a little extra accountability, go to Nicolas. I got a course for you. I've got a 1 month course, a 2 month course, and a 3 month course. I recommend the 3 month course. You'd be the most prepared.
Just throwing it out there.
Yep.
That's good information.
I mean, that's kind of what podcasting is about, right? Like getting your name out there and your business and all that stuff. Like, we're also talking about jiu-jitsu. It's not like we're trying to sell you anything. We're just letting you know if you need resources, we're your resources.
Go to Nicolas. But yeah, it's
And if you're a girl, I'll help you.
She's really good. Do it.
I'm about to get Susie ready.
Yeah?
1st December, I think.
I also have coached and help out girls, so it's not only male-based coaching.
No, me.
All right. She's a coach now.
But yeah, so, doing so many competitions, and along the way, while I was under Nutriground.
Sometimes my dad just comes over, so okay. I don't know if he's just walking around upstairs.
So,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Along the way, while training under Professor Freeland, I did my first pancreation match when I was 16. I believe it was 16 years old. Okay. Did my first pancreation, won that by decision, and then I had 2 fights lined up, and life happened and sidelined me for a few years. Left Nutriground, and showed up at Fluid because Mike Coy, who I have to give the shout out to him.
He's also been on the podcast.
Yep.
Twice.
Who's that guy?
Yeah,
that guy took over.
He's one guy. He's one guy I won't call Professor because he scares me. He looked at me and was like, "Don't call me Professor when I get my black belt." I'm gonna
call him Professor.
And I was like, "Okay."
I call Josh and Mike that to piss them off.
Yep.
Josh doesn't like it either. That's why, he's just my coach. But Mike Coy, so I've known Mike since I was very, very little, and he actually got me into jiu-jitsu. So he and I are very, very close, and he is my first mentor, and first mentor in the fight game and in the jiu-jitsu community. So big shout out to him. But he went to Fluid and a few years before I did, and I left Nutriground. I was looking to obviously keep training and find somewhere to go, and he brought me into Fluid, and I've been with Fluid ever since. Since I have my 4th stripe now on my blue. You talked about you asked how I felt about this, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I will talk about this. I don't think she watches the podcast, so I can say this. So, here's another big announcement too. Whenever I do change colors, I plan on. So on my belt is 2018. So a few years ago, one of my close training partners and friends, and somebody I came up through the ranks with, Big Mike Hernandez, passed away while training. Just passed away on the mats while training. He and I were very, very close. The north-south choke is something that I
want to carry on from him.
I carried on. I've been working on quite a bit.
There's a picture of him on the desk at Fluid. Yep. If you're wondering who that black and white picture is on the desk at Fluid, it's in a little picture frame. That's Mike Hernandez.
Yep. That's Mike Hernandez. It's he took me under his wing, taught me so much. I owe a lot to him. But I'm very close with his wife still. And I've talked to your dad about this. Whenever that happens, when I do get promoted, I'm gonna take this belt. I still have my original belt. Take this belt, have your dad tie it up, and I'm gonna give it to Christy. I'm gonna give it to Big Mike's wife. And the reason behind that is that Mike worked so long at getting a blue belt, got his blue belt, and then about a few months later he passed away. So he never made it past getting promoted to purple, brown, black. So my belt is always going to look like this, no matter what I wear. But every belt that I have custom made, I want to hand it to Christy with a full rack like this, and be like, "Hey, here you go." But that's a surprise, so nobody open up your mouth if you guys know her.
Sorry, it's let me tell the world, but don't tell anyone.
But that's something
I'm gonna tag her in this video.
That's something I'm very excited about.
But that's a nice gesture.
Yeah. So
a good way to remember him, and he can posthumous.
What?
Maybe you guys don't know that word, but he will be able to continue ranking up past his lifetime. Through your rank, right?
Yeah, you're living. I think he's trying to say. If I'm getting this right, he's basically saying that Mike will forever live on through you and you're ranking up. I think that's what he's trying to say.
Why
Post-humor.
Yeah.
Posthumously.
Stop it.
You could just said that. I don't know what you're talking about. But,
yes.
That's what that word means.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, that's how I feel. It's just I feel the exact same way. This belt, he lives through this. He lives through me. So it is a pretty cool opportunity. And now, like I said, now my journey has taken me to Fluid and competing now under Fluid. And I've been, like I said, with Fluid for just about 3 years. February 28th is my anniversary. Yeah. So
the future is bright for all of us.
It's very cool.
And we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very cool. I'm excited. There's a lot of cool things coming, and just happy to be part of the team and be a fighter and competitor under you guys. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
Very fun community. Well, anyone have any last minute thoughts that you didn't get to that you wanted to?
No, I think we said all the things we need to say.
Awesome.
Lots of fun stuff, and I just commend you for getting out there.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there, fighting, getting through it, and coming out with a smile on your face.
I think you did great yesterday.
Like I say all the time, I need to see that smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know how to do that to both of us. Where if we're like, you're like, just look at us and we start laughing. Like
it's his face. That's all.
I know my face is pretty ugly and it makes you laugh.
Did you see Anea's wallpaper?
That's terrifying.
That's amazing.
But
that's awesome.
Anyway, no, I think yesterday you did great, and I think that you did the best that you could. Your first round, you could have done better, but your second and third round were great.
I know I could have done better.
Nobody expected those cartoon punches in the first half of that first round. But then he was gassed. After like a minute, he was like...
Yeah.
Yeah,
but good job for getting out there. I'm proud of you. I think Nic's proud of you, and I think a lot of Fluid people are proud of you as well.
I am proud of you. You don't have to...
He's not. He's just lying for the camera.
I think he's proud of you. He's right here. I won't ask him.
Yep. But no, I appreciate it. I think it was a lot of fun last night, and I'll definitely be back. I'll definitely be back in that cage. Whenever PureFC, Pure Fighting Championships, wants me back, then I'll definitely.
Yeah, well, cheers to a great night, a great weekend.
I want to drink Peel-Light because I'm hurt. So.
All right.
And cheers to you guys for listening.
Come to the Joey seminar next week, and I hope you guys have a great week of training. We'll see you next week.
Guys.
Adios.